Picture this. You've been talking to her for 3 months. Not casually, intentionally. You showed up the way a good man is told he should. Consistent, patient, emotionally present. She knows your schedule because you rearranged it for her. You've had those late-night conversations that felt rare, almost intimate. She laughed at parts of you most people never notice. And then one night, she says it. I'm just confused. I don't really know what I want right now. And because you're a problem solver, you don't hear that as a rejection. You hear it as a challenge, something temporary, something that patience can fix. So you wait. Here's the part that's going to hurt. But it's also the part that sets you free. She wasn't confused. She was deciding. And that difference changes everything. Confusion is real uncertainty. It's when the mind genuinely doesn't know how to choose. What she was doing was something else entirely. She was evaluating, running comparisons, weighing options. And the cruel part is that she probably wasn't doing it consciously, which makes it harder to detect and easier to excuse. She wasn't lying. She was speaking in a language men are never taught to translate. This behavior didn't come from dating apps. It didn't come from texting culture. It comes from something much older. For most of human history, a bad choice didn't just mean heartbreak for a woman. It could mean survival, pregnancy, vulnerability, social consequences. The female brain evolved to be selective because the cost of choosing wrong was always higher. Evolutionary psychologists call this parental investment theory. The gender with more biological risk becomes more selective. And that selectivity shows up today as a delay mechanism, a pause between interest and commitment. In modern language, we call that pause confusion. But biologically, it's active assessment. And while you're waiting patiently, hoping clarity will arrive, you're actually inside her consideration set, not her decision. Here's where neuroscience makes this uncomfortable. Dopamine doesn't spike when we get certainty. It spikes when something is possible. Uncertainty keeps the reward loop alive. It's the same reason people keep scrolling, keep gambling, keep checking their phone. When she says she's confused, the ambiguity keeps multiple emotional investments open. Your hope stays alive. Her brain continues collecting data, your attention, your patience, your consistency, all while other options remain on the table. That's not romance, that's evaluation. And I'm confused is the perfect phrase because it provides cover. It sounds vulnerable. It avoids accountability. It keeps the door open without making a promise. She doesn't have to say, I'm comparing you to other men. She can say, I'm just not sure what I want. Same function, softer language. This is why men get blindsided. 1 week she's distant, the next she's warm, then she pulls back again. And you tell yourself she's processing. But what she's really responding to is her option landscape. Here are the patterns, if you're willing to see them. She asks for space, but her social life doesn't slow down. She doesn't know what she wants, but she's very clear about what she wants you not to do. The hot and cold cycles line up perfectly with when other options appear and disappear. And the biggest one, the confusion vanishes overnight. Suddenly she's sure. Suddenly she knows what she wants. And it's not you. That's the moment that breaks men. Because you spent months in uncertainty, and she moves on in days. That contrast, your slow suffering versus her sudden clarity, destroys self-trust. You start questioning your judgment, your patience, your value. And here's the truth nobody says out loud. A woman who is certain about a man is not confused about him for weeks. That pattern holds across cultures, across research, across real life. When certainty is present, Ambiguity disappears, not with time, with clarity. She didn't need more time with you. She needed a stronger signal, and that signal came from someone else. This isn't about hating her. She's not evil. She's human, running ancient software in a modern world flooded with options. But her operating system is not your responsibility to wait on. Your mistake wasn't being kind. It wasn't being patient. It was treating ambiguity like a temporary phase instead of diagnostic information. So what do you do differently? First, become a man no one feels confused about. Not by learning tricks or tactics, but by building a life with direction, standards, momentum. A man whose identity doesn't pause while someone decides his worth. Those men don't sit in consideration sets. They become destinations. Second, treat confusion as a no. Not a maybe, not a not yet, a no. Indefinite ambiguity is still an answer. Third, state your position once, clearly, then move. I'm interested in something real. If that's not where this is going, I'll step back. Say it once. Watch what happens next. Behavior will always tell you more than words. Fourth, let investment follow evidence. Not potential, not late-night conversations, not emotional vibes. Evidence. And finally, protect your time. She loses nothing while you wait. You lose momentum, growth, opportunities, self-respect. Time is the one thing you don't get back. Here's what I want you to remember. Her confusion was never about her feelings. It was about her options. The moment you stop trying to cure her uncertainty and start building your own clarity, everything shifts. Clarity is strength. Waiting without direction is not. Stop sitting in someone else's waiting room. Start building a life no one hesitates to choose.